Welcome to Week in Geek, your new comics preview for January 18th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
So what do you got?
I'm going to lead off with Morning Glories here. It's been a while since we've gotten an issue. I think it's been like a month or like 2 months or something. The kids are out in the woods and some crazy stuff's going on, and I feel like more of a story is developing here. Where for a while there, I felt like there was a lot of one-shots, real slow build, and I was liking what I was reading, but it wasn't really developing. I feel like a lot more is going on here. We're caught in the woods. We're introduced to a new character. I kind of like it. Next up, we've got Planet of the Apes, issue number 10. Monkeys. I really like the artwork. I really like where it's going. I like how it's building on itself with short story arcs, but still continuous. Really good stuff, and I think the artwork is freaking fantastic. I really, really like it quite a bit.
Boom's doing a great job with this license. This is probably the best Planet of the Apes comic book group that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I would agree. Then, we'll go. We got it in order there. We'll go with Amazing Spider-Man here. This is not a continuation from the last, because that's in the Daredevil there.
That's coming up in a few.
It's Amazing Spider-Man. Dan Slott's doing a great job. I'm still really liking the book. I am a few issues behind, so I'm not really sure where we're going to be here, but, also behind on that first part of Daredevil.
That's too bad. That was a good one.
I'm sure it was, and I'm probably just going to read the two together. So, then I've got Avengers number 21. This book has still been really good. I'm kind of liking where they're going with this stuff. We're fighting a bunch of Hulks here and Thunderbolts Mountain.
Storm joins the team. Is that
this issue?
It's on the cover.
Yep, and I knew that was coming up. So it looks like Storm is now a member of the Avengers.
Yeah. So who's she going to side with in X-Men versus Avengers?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Things will be torn asunder.
Yep.
Then we've got issue number 23 of Chew. This cover is awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like a baseball card with a zombie on it. That's good stuff. Really, really like this book. The last issue was pretty good. We're starting to get into this whole thing where it looks like Tony's sister Amelia is going to help the other side, but not really to help them. She's just going to get some things done. Tony is still working for the parking department, but things are... So his side of the story is funny and kind of whimsical, but it's building to something bigger. They're starting to get to what the writing in the sky is, and... Yeah, so it's pretty good. Still, Chew, if you're not reading Chew, why not? We're already wrapping up almost 2 years here, and, everyone, I don't think anyone said a bad thing about it.
No.
It just gets constant praise. Then we've got Fear Itself, The Fearless, number 7. I like this book. I'm still having a good time with it. I think it's, as I've said before, I think it's better than Fear Itself was. It's a nice continuation. It's an actual story of what was built out of that, which I still didn't really know what had happened. But this, we got more characters getting involved in the pursuit of the hammers, and Valkyrie doing her thing, and it looks like Wolverine's in this one, and why wouldn't he be? He's in every other book anyhow. So you gotta get him in there. Warriors 3 in here. Good book. Then, do you want to do that one already? Yeah, we'll do that one. Ghostbusters number 5. Who are you gonna call? The Ghostbusters. This book is really, really fun. I like the artwork. I can't say enough good things about it. It's got all the characters from the movies. If you like the movies, you'd like the book.
That's what everyone's saying.
It doesn't feel like typical comic adaptations where it's silly. And I've said this before, and it's kind of hard to always explain it, but it feels real to me. If I've accepted that the movie is real and it's fiction, it feels real. Oftentimes, the comics that follow do not.
No.
They just, it feels like they're trying to make more money out of it. And I understand, sure, that's what they're doing. But this feels real. It feels like a nice supplement to the movies where, you got a nice, a gap in your heart that you wanted more Ghostbusters. Here's more Ghostbusters.
It's between Ghostbusters and Planet of the Apes. And even though I don't get it anymore, what Dark Horse was doing with Buffy, what IDW is doing with Star Trek, we're really kind of a renaissance for licensed product. I mean, they used to be just sort of crappy tie-ins that nobody really, they were never very good, but now they're actually making them really good, solid comics that fit with the property.
Yep.
That's
and
the most important part.
They sell comics that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it took them this long to figure out, make them pretty good, and like the movie, that people might buy them. But who knows?
Then we've got Xenoholics #4 by Image. A fun book by Joshua Williamson, art by Seth DeMoose. It's about people that are addicted to being abducted by aliens. And there was an alien invasion, and so there's more going on with that. There was, in that early issues, there was the reporter that was hiding out among them. But it's really, really fun. Ooh, did I just see an art? Rebel Blood #1, and add back in there. I've been seeing all the little preview stuff that Riley's been putting on Facebook.
Yeah.
Sorry, Xenoholics. Didn't mean to interrupt your Week in Geek moment. But yeah, a good book. This more aliens here. Looks like this is just kind of ramping up, and a fun book. If you like aliens and you like a funny, goofy, silly kind of book, kind of like Chew in that it's a good story, but it has a silliness that you got to buy into. Xenoholics is fun. Pick it up. I like it. Tiny Titans 48. Because you demanded it. Mm-hmm. Titans Unmasked.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, Titans.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got? What is I going to say that I haven't said for 47 weeks in a row?
I'm going to start off with some New 52. At what point do they stop being a New 52 and just start being the 52? I don't know, but it says New 52 on the cover. But I'm going to start off with Wonder Woman. This is Brian Azzarello. Cliff Chiang takes a break and is replaced by Tony Akins. Chiang will be back. Get used to this on the New 52 books. You're probably not going to get, a year in a row of a whole lot of artists. But Akins is a solid
artist.
Though. Pretty good. I mean, it's tight stuff. And really, this book the great part's been the writing. Azzarello's got a real... it's not an unusual take. It's not a different take. I mean, I think this just kind of goes back to some characters don't need a take. They just need a good story. And that's what he's done here. There's nothing kind of different or unusual or groundbreaking. I mean, her costume's a little bit different. But basically, they're tweaking the origin. But the main thing is just there's been a lot of action, a really nice story about the gods. Wonder Woman finds out her daddy is Zeus. Good stuff. Next up, Scott Snyder's Batman with Greg Capullo. Actually, we've had 5 issues in a row with Capullo. So, but he did Spawn for a long time. So
he did, but it wasn't always on time.
He can probably get 6 issues out of him, and then or something. This has been a great book. It's Batman versus the Court of Owls. There's some secret history of Gotham City going on. Batman finds out that there are things in Gotham that were hidden even from him. He doesn't know everything that he thought. That Gotham has a history of characters and a secret society that he was aware of, but has always thought was a myth. He investigated when he was younger and found nothing, and he's been fighting against that. And there are ties to his father. So really great stuff. I mean, Snyder's it's very different from what he did on Detective. But
are they tying in? Is that what I heard? Is that because that detective stuff did happen, right?
Yeah. All of that is still in continuity. Okay. This is going to be leading into a crossover through a bunch of the Batman books. That's going to be coming up down the road a little bit. But for now, this has, I think, been one of the best of the books from the relaunch. Next up, Green Lantern Corps. This is continuing the story. We find out that these guys who are able to sort of overcome the Green Lantern willpower energy are actually the original caretakers of the power batteries. So there is a connection. Once again, we find out that everything that the Guardians have left some things out from the Lanterns. There's an appearance by the Martian Manhunter in here. So it's good intergalactic space cops. It's not my favorite of the Green Lantern relaunch books, but it's still pretty solid.
I'd watch a show called Intergalactic Space Cops.
Oh God, that would be great. That'd be fantastic.
Sci-Fi Channel, we're talking to you.
Next up is Hellblazer. Much like Tiny Titans and many of these others, I've sung the praises of this many times. Last month, John got his coat back, so now he's running off to hell.
How John Constantine got his coat back?
John got his coat back. And in this issue...
Was it as cool as when Stella got her groove back?
It was a little bit cooler because...
Really?
Well, this coat was killing people. Possessing people. It made someone commit suicide. It tried to kill John, and then
That's a great concept. It really is.
And then John beat it last month. Spoilers. By basically reminiscing about all the wonderful experiences that they've had, having sex in a graveyard, and the coat kind of got sentimental, and John beat it. So it was really bizarre,
All right.
really bizarre stuff. But in this one, now that he's got his coat back, he's running off to hell to rescue his sister's soul because he somehow got her condemned to hell.
Oh,
You don't want to be family with Constantine.
Probably not so
That's
much.
shown. Next up is Moon Knight, a pretty wicked cover. This is continuing the Brian Michael Bendis Crazy Man. This has been good stuff. Bendis and Malieve, this is going to be tying. It looks like it's tying into the big Ultron storyline that's coming in the Avengers.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Count Bendis is writing all of it.
yeah,
So.
Count Nefaria is in this. Ultron's in this. So it's weird that it's a ground level gritty book, but he's basically fighting a super powerful robot and a guy who's kind of Superman. So it's a weird twist, and he's hallucinating superheroes. So yeah, this is not Daredevil by a long shot, but it's still a lot of fun.
Cool.
Next up, Mark Miller's Superior. I got to tell you, this is one of the best movie pitches I've ever read.
Really?
I'm just kidding about that, but I mean, it definitely is a movie type
Oh,
thing.
that's what all of his stuff
All of his
is.
stuff feels that way. But like he said, if he really wanted to make a movie, he could just write screenplays. He likes doing comics. This has been
Well,
pretty
because
good.
he gets to double dip. He gets
Oh.
the money from the comics and he gets to sell the screenplay.
Comics aren't making that much money.
It's more than if he just sold the screenplay.
But yeah, true. But he still likes.
Don't
doing
let him
comics.
fool you. He's double dipping.
But this has been pretty solid. I'm actually this is one of the best of these books that he's been doing. I mean, I like this
cool.
more than was it Kick-Ass? Some of the old Miller World stuff. Now, part of it's because it's Superman-ish or
Okay.
Shazam-ish, but it's got a demon monkey astronaut. And our main character.
Now you're trying to sell me on it.
Demon monkey astronaut. How do you beat that? Got robots, but it's a fun book. It's not as it's dark in themes, but it's not dark in execution the way that
Okay.
Kick-Ass is. This is a little bit more mainstream.
All right.
Kick-Ass had kind of a mean streak to it that this does not
Yeah.
possess. This is actually the lead character here is selfish but still kind of upstanding, and he's at a point
Yeah.
where he's got to make a choice that will. Basically, he has to sacrifice his soul to save the lives of countless other people. So, this guy who starts off kind of iffy, like a regular person, a geek, who gets some power and learns that with great power comes great responsibility. So, speaking of that,
Oh, hey.
Ultimate Spider-Man #6, continuing the story of Miles Morales. I think this is the beginning of the new arc. Chris Samnee is the artist on this. It's got a nifty poly
I was
bags.
just going to say, continuing Marvel's epic bag saga.
Yeah, apparently they are going to get rid of the bags
Really?
and switch to the inside cover will have a scratch off with the code.
Okay.
So at least people can
and then
flip through.
collectors will be like, oh, wow.
Well, I got mine's not mint. Its code is scratched. So they found another way to get you to buy two that saves a little money and people can flip through it on the shelf now. But again, I like this book.
So
a lot.
now they've invested in silver scratch-off dust.
Yes. So expect a lot of Marvel lottery cards in the future. But this has been a really good book. I mean, this really completely, totally different direction. It's still Bendis, but the writing is completely different. I mean, It's a
Okay.
different kind of pace. It's definitely a modern book. Before this, when it was Peter Parker, it always felt very consistent. This is not a criticism, but that whole run is a very tight, consistent run. It still has a very kind of early 2000s feel when it started.
Okay.
This is definitely a much more modern book, which is great. I love it. Uncanny X-Force, again, I've sung its praises many times. Now we've got this is tied into Wolverine and the X-Men.
Oh, okay.
So the new Angel and the new kind of Apocalypse / Genesis that started in this book are now over in the Wolverine. They're at the school learning how to be heroes.
Okay.
So yeah, Angel is out of this, so it's basically back to being Wolverine and Phantom X. And it looks like in this one we've got some dimension hopping and some Captain Britain. So if you're a Captain Britain fan, Rick Remender will probably be giving that the same kind of.
So those 5 guys just got excited.
Yes. So now they've increased the sales of this by 5. In a similar vein, Uncanny X-Men. This is Kieran Gillen. This is Greg Land. Not quite as strong as the art has been, but I'll still give it a shot. Land's been on this book forever. Looks like they're fighting a giant bat.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is going to pick up some of the elements of that vampire story that started off in X-Men, but yeah, this is the superhero-ish team fighting superhero-ish things. Magneto, Cyclops, Namor, the big guns. Still a pretty solid book.
I love that as a pitch. It's the superhero-ish team doing superhero-ish things.
they
Sold!
That's the high concept pitch. That's the elevator pitch. So that's my stack.
Well, which brings me to the top of my stack, which I alluded to earlier, is Daredevil number 8. So I haven't read the first part. I'm going to read the 2 together. I know Mark Waid wrote them both.
Yeah.
So Mark Waid's the regular writer on Daredevil, which has been fantastic.
The first part of this was fantastic. I actually think it was better than what Wade's been doing on Daredevil.
Really?
I think you mix Spider-Man and Daredevil together, you get something that's a little better than either.
It's chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
It really is. It's always good stuff when you put the 2 of them together. And the Daredevil book, as I said, has just been so good. The artwork has been fantastic. This looks like, is this maybe someone new here? What do we got? Kano? Was he not? He hadn't been doing it. It was Paulo Rivera and Marcos Martin, right?
Similar
but it's the same colorist, I think.
Yeah.
So, you're getting a similar vibe out of it. Great book. Can't say enough things. That's my top pick. I'm excited about it. I'm going to read the 2 of them probably together here.
I've got a strange top pick.
That is a strange top pick.
There's something wrong with me. Let me just clarify.
Well, we already knew that.
I think my mind is somehow stuck 20 years ago because I'm reading X-Force, I'm reading Wolverine, and I'm picking up Prophet. This
issue,
is
what, 21?
This is issue 21. Now, props to them for not doing number 21 for number 1.
Yep.
For picking up the old numbering. This is the return of Extreme Studios to Image, like this, and I think Deathstrike is coming back, and Youngblood. I don't know. Youngblood has come back several times. This was Stephen Platt worked on this book.
Yep.
Dan Panosian worked on this book. I remember thinking that of the Extreme Studios books, this was one of the better ones back then, mostly because the art had a little bit more identity than some of the Liefeld clones. But this apparently, other than the title, has nothing to do with that. It's clearly not the same costume.
Right.
Rich Johnson has been telling everybody this is going to be worth a lot of money because it's been under-ordered, because nobody knows what to expect, and everybody hated Extreme Studios and Prophet.
Right.
It's basically...
But has he even read it? So he doesn't know how good it's going to be.
Oh, no.
Yet,
there has been some buzz around this.
Okay.
But it's basically a sci-fi book. He's a time traveler. If you read some of the synopsis, it almost sounds a little like it's the Terminator to some extent, or the Time Machine or something. But it's a time travel. A guy from the future goes back to the past to save some things. And I don't know. There's just some buzz about it. I like the fact that this is they're resurrecting an old name with completely new stuff. It's almost like Image's version of the New 52. So because there's been some buzz. And
except they're keeping their numbering. Imagine that, which is totally unlike them.
Everyone's
gone crazy.
Yeah, and that's just the weirdness of the decision to bring Prophet back. I'll check it out. Who knows if it'll make it to a second issue in my stack? But I'll give it a shot just because I've been trying everything that's came out in the '90s that's back. Venom and X-Force and the X-Men Avengers was from the '80s actually. So,
right.
So yeah, just continuing the ongoing pulling stuff from the past, making me think it's 1992 again. I'm going to go with Prophet as my top pick. On a similar thing, though, I do want to call out things from the past. Also this week is Steed and Emma Peel. It's a Grant Morrison book. This is actually a reprint. The original came out in the 90s. It was a prestige format series, a 3-issue series. Now they're putting it into, I think, 6 regular issues. Steed and Mrs. Peel is the Avengers, but of course they can't call a comic book the Avengers, even though the TV Avengers predates Marvel's Avengers. But if you're a fan of British TV, if you're a fan of the Avengers TV show, if you're a fan of Grant Morrison, this is one of the books that a lot of people didn't know he did, because this was way back, even before he did Justice League and things like that.
Oh, cool.
So I picked it up when it came out originally. When I saw it being re-released, I thought that it's good to call that to everybody's attention because it's a solid book. I'm not picking it up because I've got the 3 issues sitting in a box somewhere. So, along with Prophet 1 through 20 and X-Force and Memories. This episode brought to you by Nostalgia.
Is that the new cologne from
Yes.
Mike Ortiz? So, on a separate note, I would like to mention that this week we'll probably do it for we'll probably do it for the rest of the month. Comics and More, we're gonna do 30% off of all Marvel hardcovers and paperbacks.
Oh wow,
for the rest of the month.
nice.
So yeah, come on out. And with that, that is your Week in Geek.